Robert Guillaume, the guy who played Benson on Soap, and then was the brains behind the governor of Indiana for like 4 years. A banana, squash banana, you pandy, look harder, look harder. Okay, he lives in you. Are you sure, man? Because I'm watching the football game, right? And they have a commercial, and this little girl goes walking with her bag out of this build, apartment or a house, right? She goes across this little yard, doing the whole Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson thing, On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing God that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday makes the body feel alone. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert, right? And the mom opens the door and goes, because she has a bruised eye, She goes to knock on the door, and you don't know where it's at. It's her parents' house, apparently. The mom grabs her and hugs her. The dad comes out and hugs her, and it says, hope. All right. And it has another commercial, and the kid's a teenager, and he's a cute kid, and he's sitting there crying, saying, I love my dad more than anyone. I love my dad. Be a foster parent, adopt a teen. Pay his extortion, teach him to pay his extortion. A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but I was doing something else, doing another girl. It was some guy in a bar who couldn't pay his bills or stand living in hell, so he went and committed suicide, and then his kid was born, and I had to raise his kid to take him to try to pay his bills and accept the hell without killing yourself with the on a Sunday morning sidewalk, I wishing God that I was stoned. Somebody's frying chicken. There's a kid kicking a can, right? And you're sitting there watching this. They have a lot of these videos on YouTube, has these guys in prison. This is what pure evil looks like, man. This man is pure evil. He's killed 23 people. Okay, your president and the guys you walk up to and say, you're the real heroes. John McCain. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Bomb, bomb, Iran. Okay. And what's evil about that? Nothing. It's heroic. We found that German battleship that's making such a fuss. We gotta sink the Bismarck 'cause the world depends on us. We hit the decks a-running and we spun those guns around. Then we found that German battleship and then we cut her down. Right? And then you turn on the TV and, oh, Lord Jesus, I love you so. Thanks for dying for me so I can act like a hoe. I'm gonna vote for president. Let's kill a lot of Iraqis today. Oh, I'm sorry, we're killing Iranians today. Sorry, wrong country. Sorry, Iraq. We'll get back to killing you in another 4 years. All right? Jesus! And they're all smiling and they're all happy. They're on TV. Girl's trying to promote her record, man. She's got a nice voice, man. She might be able to pay her bills. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing God that I was stoned. 'Cause there's something in a Sunday makes the body feel alone. Let's put your teeth back together. I'm good at it. Your body's being destroyed by extortion, exploitation, and a toxic environment. Trust, comfort, expertise. What a burger. What a burger. Amy used to always have the kids go, have Dad make one of Mary Ann's burgers. No, we don't want to go to the... I should have learned how to... should have got a fryer and made onion rings at home for Amy. Because then I'd be able to make her Western bacon cheeseburgers, Mary Ann style, anytime she wanted it, right? Get real beef and get the minced onions and the garlic salt and then, get the real cheese, good cheese and some Sorrento, probably some Sorrento, yeah. Don't tell anybody about it, though, okay? I just made a a grilled cheese sandwich of a CEO, man. Girl, you're so bad. But it's, like Rockefeller told me, he said, they'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, Parsons. Because you guys like to fancy yourself as Jesus. I see mine as baby Jesus. 8 foot, 8 pounds, 9 ounces, baby Jesus. Swaddling baby Jesus. Was I 8 pounds, 9 ounces? I don't know. It was Patrice. I don't remember. But I like my Jesus to be in a t-shirt with a tuxedo on it and a mullet saying he's business in the front, party in the back. Yeah. Peanut butter and ladies. Shake and bake. And I helped. Right. Walker, Texas Ranger. Go kick your grandpa's ass. Be all over him like a spider monkey. You're going to beat us? That was funny. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah. It really is. When, but the thing about it is, guys, is there's more people in India than there is in Los Estados Unidos. And Europe, most of them are agnostic atheists, just like Australia. Yeah. There's a few fringe wackadoodle drunken, Jesus is my drinking buddy, yeah. Jesus, bring me a girl with big breasts that likes to let me titty fuck her, Jesus, and she can suck a golf ball through a garden hose, Jesus. You're talking this way on Sunday? No, you guys are talking this way on Sunday. I want everybody to live the Lord's Prayer today and every day. It's not going to matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if you're my Saturday love. I'm a weekend Earl. It's just atrocious watching you, listening to you, And I'm always real nice. Earl before this was always like, they're trying their hardest, Jesus. Jesus, they're trying their best. Bullshit, Earl. They sit and watch you, Guys, let me help you with some of the stuff with melanoma, okay? Melanoma is the body, usually it attacks places that, it doesn't attack, it X's it out of places that can take it. Okay. Near the shins. So far, my feet are, knock on wood, except for my neighbor, is not the dumbest person in the world. No, the people that program him like he's programming a video game, okay, and can't get him to do anything. To save money, he's out there with his lawnmower spraying Roundup all over his weeds, so he only has to do it once. Yeah. We can't get them to do nothing they don't want to do, and we're programming like we program their video game. And I've walked over and told them many times who I am, and that I will pay for the gas, and I will cut your lawn because you're too cheap to pay Buddy to do it, to cut your orchard. Okay. He won't do it. And he's going to get a lower yield on his nuts. His nuts aren't, you can't feed your trees, feed them. Okay, if you go through and you cut all your weeds and you cut all your grass, you don't have to pay for Buddy to put the stuff, and you don't have to buy the stuff that you put on there. Feed your lawn. You don't have to, the guy pretending to be the leprechaun, the Christmas, And so he's going to spend money on gas and weed killer to spray it all. Then he's going to get money, he has to pay to put stuff to feed the trees and everything like that. When all the stuff is right there, all he has to do is just not pay for the weed eater and not pay for the shit you put down on it, and just cut up the stuff, and there it is. Boom, nature, Allah provides, right? And so you're just like, it's so stupid. It's just... And we can't give them nothing they don't want to do, and we can program like we program their video game, and it's just that one guy at fucking Walmart, with the blind people doing the motocross. Sounds like they're just thinning out the herd. Yeah, they are. And I'm talking to you, and I'm the most intelligent, brave, beautiful man on the entire planet right now that's not plugged into a computer as a young person by the Indians, the Japanese, and the Chinese, and whoever, wherever, whatever, right? So, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. Man, I'm glad I'm single. I was sitting there watching TV, and they have, in advertising, they have a lot of women, Oh, and they have these voices. I'm so sexy. You want to buy this product because you want to have sex with me. You dream about having sex with someone with a voice like mine. Why? Amy had a voice like yours. Amy never stayed, I raised a lot of kids with Amy. She conceived a lot of kids while married to me, but I raised a lot of kids with her. She ran mine out because she didn't want to deal with my ex-wife, because I didn't want to have sex with her and my ex-wife at the same time, because I didn't trust my ex-wife emotionally to be able to handle the situation, because she goes through PTSD, and when she does, she blacks out and she could kill people. Yeah. So I was protecting my wife. I didn't give her that much information because it's really none of her business. I did tell her, I would joke with her and I said, like I'd tell Shar, I thought, me personally, if Steffi was willing to work with it, that I could help probably talk her through it and be patient with it and not get mad at her and stuff like that if she decided to change her mind. But she never did. Well, and I always left the door open because Patrick wanted that door open. And then after she came back, the only reason we had sex after that was to get back at her girlfriends when her girlfriend screwed around on her. And I'm like, oh, fuck no, you don't do that to me and Patrick. Patrick got up and locked the door after she left the last time because he was sick of it. Because he had us both thinking, she had us both thinking. She came and used me to get back at her girlfriends that screwed around on her. She had sex with her ex-husband, who lived in the same apartment with her son. And she was the victim. She's the poor homosexual that's abused by people like me, Earl. Earl's he's the guy like Jesus. He's the reason why we have homophobia and all that stuff, and the whole reason why we have economics, which makes people vulnerable to sexual assault because there's crimes of opportunity, because people have to be out paying extortion, exploitation instead of parenting. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing God that I was stoned, right? Because there's something in a Sunday. Maybe we should sing. Daddy sang bass, Mama sang tenor, and me and little brother would join right in there. I remember when times were bad, okay. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. There is no God in the sky where you go live on the clouds. That's all bullshit. They made that shit up, guys. No one in their right mind believes in any of that shit, especially when you understand genetics and that we share memories, prophecy with other physical bodies through the same spiritual essence, the spirit. That's why I always tell people I'm interested in the nature of the spirit and not your body. Because your body is fucking wackadoodle. You got a brain of a fucking walnut. I don't want to have sex with a walnut. Now you're sounding just like Billy Bob Thornton with Angelina Jolie. Well, don't act like a mattress or a walnut. I said a walnut. A walnut is way better than a mattress. Walnut, you get enough walnuts, you're this is yummy, right? A mattress, they cost money. When they get used up, you throw them out, and homeless people sleep on them and get bed bugs that cause them to be sick. Okay, so fucking the mattress, or I didn't say that I said you have a brain of a walnut. I'm saying you're acting like a dinosaur. That's some of you, that's an insult to the dinosaur. Earl, you're obnoxious. Yes, I am. I know I am. Okay. Hey, man. You don't have to come and watch these. Nobody watches them. Only the asshole perverts at White Sands and at NASA watch these. You don't have to watch them. I ain't saying nothing important. I ain't fixing no quantum computing. I ain't fixing artificial general intelligence. I'm not gonna hit you. Like hell I'm not. Who cares? Is that Angie Dickinson? Who's Angie Dickinson? Is that Robert Mitchum? Is Angie Dickinson? No, Angie Dickinson. The one with Angie Dickinson, is that the one with Robert Mitchum, or is that the one with Dean Martin? I think it's the one with Dean Martin, right? Robert Mitchum ain't in that one, is he? Because Robert Mitchum is in the one with James Caan, right? There's Rio Lobo and there's El Dorado, right? And they're both very similar, right? And most of you like Richard Cogburn, right? With, oh Norman, you old poop. Richard Cogman, you are a credit to the whole male race. Remember that? That's a good movie. No, she's everyone else like Katharine Hepburn. You know, African Queen on Golden Pond. She kind of reminds me of my grandmother. Yeah. No, anybody else like Katharine Hepburn? Okay. I like Katharine Hepburn. So what do you guys know for? She has this strength to her. Especially with the in Rooster Cogburn with the isn't she like a sister? One of those old church ladies. Please stand up. Please stand up. And so the Kings are playing the Battlehawks in spring football here. Because I was telling you about the commercials, right? You watching the same commercials I'm watching, right? Yeah, dumb. Yeah. Let me be good to you. Isn't that from The Great Mouse Detective? What was his name? Fidget. Isn't Fidget the peg leg bat with the crippled wing? Okay. I got the gears, I got the girl, I got the... Okay. Yeah, and, oh, my dear Bartholomew, I'm afraid you've gone and upset me. I understand these people, they're all like related to... No, this is ICP from Detroit, right? Okay. This is St. Louis. Meet me in St. Louis. And then the other one's in Louisville, Kentucky. And the other one was in Orlando. They ain't got a pro football team. And who is it? DC do have it. Yeah, DC. They have the Commanders. And who else be in it? Houston, and there's Arlington, right? There's Houston, Arlington, Columbus, right? Because they ain't got a football. They play at the soccer stadium, right? So who else is there, y'all? There's like Houston and the Dallas area. Right? There's Orlando and DC, right? There's St. Louis. And Louisville, right? There's Columbus, Ohio. Oh, Birmingham. How did I forget Birmingham, Alabama? Joe Cribbs and Jeff Stout. Birmingham Stallions. Joe Cribbs and Jeff Stout. Their first quarterback and tailback in their franchise history. Joe Cribbs, University of Auburn, used to play for the Buffalo Bills. And Cliff Stout. Is it Cliff Stout? Yeah. Backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know where he went to school. I forgot. Joe Cribbs. I really like Joe Cribbs. Yeah. He's only 5'8". I liked him at Buffalo. I like Joe Cribbs. Anybody else like Joe Cribbs? I like Joe Cribbs. Who's he's a good ball play. And so, but yeah, that's the other one. Memphis ain't got a team no more. Vegas ain't got a team no more. Who else? There's quite a few. They folded, Vegas, man. What was the deal with Vegas? Y'all got Sam Boyd hot. It is hot as hell there. That's true. I was gonna say you got Sam Boyd Stadium, or y'all tear it down. Okay. So you got a stadium to play spring footballs in, but they trying to steal the A's from Oakland too. Yeah. You guys in Vegas, you got something against us moolies from the town? Just kidding around. Moolies, that's what Italians call black people. Yeah. You're gonna steal our baseball team? You're gonna steal our football team? I'm not a Raider fan. No, I was more of I like the Steelers a little better. But I did, they were the other mean, tough, rotten, Morgantown dirty team that Steelers Raiders in the playoffs in the 1970s and 80s. Those are like legendary games. The one team that the other team was always like, oh boy, it's Pittsburgh. Oh, it's Oakland. Yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, you knew it was going to be. Holy crap, those teams. I always liked, I like Pittsburgh, but I've always had a soft spot for Buffalo. Anybody else like Thurman Thomas, and Cornelius Bennett, and Bruce Smith, and God, there's a lot of guys on those teams. Yeah. Don Beebe, I didn't know Don Beebe was such an ass. I didn't know that. They had him on a show. He's kind of an ass. Yeah. Little guy, he's kind of an ass. Oh, I like Jeff Kelly. I like Jeff Kelly a lot. Yeah. Andre Reed. Yeah. Who's the other one? The other linebacker dude. I forgot his name. He was good though. And I'm trying to think of some of the other guys on the old Buffalo Bills. Yeah. Scott Norwood. Yeah. Poor guy. Yeah. It should have never even gotten that far. They had a better team. They should have just won that game. But Parcells outcoached Marv Levy. Yeah, he did. And O.J. Anderson from the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. He went to New York, and yeah, they just gave him the ball and just worked the clock and worked the thing. And just he had a really good game. He really did. Yeah. And that offensively, you got the offensive line. Yeah, Parcells put together. Yeah, my thing is football. The big boys. Big movers. Big movers. That's why we were so good. Of course, most of our big movers died early from steroid use. Mike Webster. Yeah. My dad would always say that when we played the Cowboys. He goes, your offensive linemen, they don't look like men. They look like Clydesdale horses. Their legs look like their arms look like their legs. They don't look natural. You look at the offensive line for Dallas, they look like guys, big guys. It's like, yeah, he's right, they do. But Pittsburgh is like, well, they maybe just got better weight training. That's what I was a kid. I was naive. Yeah. But, yeah. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. It's a shame the way you hurt me. Being the Messiah is a very big responsibility. And, there's books called the Bible and the Quran and the Pearl of Great Price and, stuff like that where people have a thing called revelation. And a lot of times they'll tell it to other people or they'll write it down, and then people will always be looking for that guy, Who's the dude, man? Who's the dude who's going to be the one that looks like Son of Man, people, when during the apocalypse, man? Because everybody always says Jesus is coming back. It's like, guys, it says that Jesus goes from year one to the future. Okay. So that means he's moved, right? From year one to the future. Okay, God doesn't pick people up and give them stem cell research and whatever and move them through a wormhole to your Andre 3000. Okay, sorry, Miss Jackson. Just hate to burst your bubble. Oh, I hate to burst your bubble. I want to burst your bubble. But the thing is this, and so, no. That's, guys, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Forgive debt and trespass and love one eternal faithful peace. The Lord works in mysterious ways. I am the way, the truth, and the life. The Lord works in mysterious ways. What the vulgar intercourse is wrong with you people? These are cartoons. Those aren't real people eating food in Arlington, Texas, okay? That's a cartoon pretending to be Arlington, Texas, with cartoons doing things in cartoon land. That's not really Arlington, Texas. It's a bunch of cartoons pretending they're having a good time in Arlington, Texas. Ain't really happening. These people are pretending to have a good time, killing their brain cells and causing heart disease. That was Formula One racing. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care if you have to be a security guard spending 5 days a week driving around a parking lot with people running their cars and their air conditioners running. because, they want to make sure that the customers. Deputy Sheriff said to me, "What are you doing here, boy?" I was like, "You better pack up your things and leave. It's the same old story. Yeah. Everywhere I go, I get slandered. Libel. I hear words I've never heard in the Bible, and I'm so tired. I just gotta keep this customer satisfied. Satisfied. Whoa. Y'all have to forgive me. I don't have Garfunkel as a company vocalist. Jerky Berkey, Jerky Boys." Okay. Oh, oh, da, 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 da. Anybody else like this? I do not have that on my MP3. I can put that on my MP3. It's on YouTube. Okay. I should put that on my MP3. I'll write it down later. I'm tired. Anybody else like this? I so long, Frank Lloyd Wright. It's not a bad song. But I prefer. Got to keep the customer satisfied. I like that song. That's a good one. That's a good one here. I'd rather be a sparrow than a snail. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. I have El Condor Pastel, yes. Yes, I would. If I only could, I surely would. Mm-hmm. And he has the flute. I'm sure they had the flutes and pan flutes and things like that with the percussion for merengue and salsa and stuff before we brought our brass. But like I told that one guy in the store, it's like the Caribbean, the one thing they must like the European the most for is brass. Because when you're listening to mambos and salsa, damn, that's a good brass section, isn't it though? The brass with the percussion, that's good stuff, right? Boom 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 boom. Yeah, I also like a guitar on that time. Bum ba na na na. Boom 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 boom. Bum ba na na na. Boom 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 boom. One of Patrick's favorites. Is that Dancing Under the Moon? I think it is. There's Isla del Sol, the Island in the Sun, that Patrick liked. There's Dancing Under the Moon, and there's I'm trying to remember. Borrasca. I think that was the name of the album, right? I think. Don't quote me, boy, because they ain't said shit. But that was, yeah. Boom, ba boom, 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 bum, ba, na, na, na. Anybody else like that song? You guys like, Dad, I hear Otmar. It was wonderful, that kid, man. Nobody taught him, okay? He would sit, and like I told you, and he would sit and put his hands up and he'd clap because he could keep rhythm and tempo with the clapping in the song. And then he would set in his heels. He'd sit there and do his heels. And I was like, when I got Shaq the other day in prayer, and I was chair dancing and telling him, you got to kind of, because it was a mumble, And I said, I can't help myself. I got too much African in my blood and everything like that. But I tapped to just about everything. Oh, yeah, I got, maybe it was Harold and Fared. I don't know. I think it was something just in me. But yeah, I tapped to just about everything. Guys, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire. Who else is a very good? Isn't Dick Van Dyke a pretty good tap dancer too? I never, I never had tap shoes, but I have good rhythm and tempo and stuff. And you don't really have to be taught how to tap. You can tap yourself. You just be able to help to keep the rhythm and the tempo and tap. Because Faird pretty much taught himself, and you can invent your own rhythm and tempo and your own moves. That's what Faird and Harold did, guys. In case you're wondering. Okay. Faird was a little young man, a little boy, and he just let the music take him, and then he moved. And a lot of his moves are very similar. I'm the same way. I have a thing. I always kind of go to the right because I push off on my left like I do when I play basketball or sports. So I always kind of, and then pull the right along and then do the left whiff, but I do more with my right, like when I dribble or shoot. And I noticed that with Fayard, he's that way too. That he favors one, but it's still, oh my gosh. That's a talented dancer. And his brother, oh man. Yeah. Really fun. Really gifted, athletic person, it's fun to watch. I like those two. But it'll be even more fun when we're living the Lord's Prayer. Andale, yeah. Okay, guys, I love you. Anybody else like walnuts? don't pay me no mind. According to all the egomaniacs and dumbasses around here, I'm a dead man already. I've been dead since right at the very beginning of the second Obama administration, January 22nd, right at the very beginning, January 2nd, 2013. It's like old El Haj Malik El Shabazz. I'm a dead man, according to all those people. I'll never see the light of day. I never did anything. Never did a damn thing for children, for families, for Jesus, for Muhammad, for Moses, for Khadijah, I just make up that I'm talking to Suzuki and Haile Selassie and stuff like that. I make all that stuff up. If I make it all up, gosh, I'm gorgeous and my faith is amazing and the things I notice and say and do are just, wow. Make believe Haile Selassie in my head. I love you so much. I love my imagination. Okay. Bob Marley in my head. I love you. You're such a good guy. No, I do have more. I had more talks and stuff with Haley. Is very busy. The one I've talked to, of course, always Jesus, because we're but Suzuki has been really helpful, and Sun Yat-sen and Haile Selassie. Suzuki has more time for meditation and more time to focus, and the other one that really helped me a lot, Jiddu Krishnamurti. Yeah. Whoopie doopie, genius. Yeah, my favorite Indian. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out.